Hi, don't mind the construction noise. An advertising firm has just agreed to pay me $2 whole if I let them install a billboard above my house. Now, that doesn't sound like much, but that just means you're not thinking of the whole idea, the big picture. You see, 34 more signs, and I can get a Banshee from Pandora.
Theme parks are an institution worldwide. People can go to them with their families for an unforgettable, possibly once-in-a-lifetime vacation that will give them memories to last for a lifetime. You can also go to them by yourself if you're a total loser.
I'm having a great time!
With big, extravagant vacations like this, it makes sense that most people who visit these places would want to purchase something to commemorate their time there. Usually, people will pick up some sensible merchandise like a t-shirt or stuffed animal, something they have good reason to keep around for at least the foreseeable future. But that is not what I'm here to talk about today. I'm here to talk about the people who get back from their vacations, look at their park guide maps, and do the unthinkable.
I'm gonna keep this.
The theme park collection. Many hobbies are just begging to have you start a collection of your very own. Movies, TV shows, and video games are all hobbies that are just perfect for building a collection of. When you get into something like video games, you're able to set your own goals for what you want to see in your collection. You can collect every console from a certain manufacturer. You can get every game for a system you really like. You can go after some of your favorite games that you grew up with. You can have a complete in-box copy of Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, Wii Music, Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, and Nintendo Land. Movie and TV show collecting is great too. For most people, this is a collection you can spend many years building up with all your favorite movies and TV shows in whatever medium you want. And I mean anything too. Do you want a Blu-ray copy of Adam Sandler's 2006 classic Click? Well, you're off to a bad start. That's the Iron Giant. On the other side of this whole collecting spectrum, theme park collecting isn't really a hobby you consciously start. For me, I just kind of absent-mindedly started keeping some of the things from my various trips until I just went,
"Oh my god, I have a problem!"
And thus my theme park collection began. At the beginning, my collection mostly just contained two different things, that being park maps and attraction posters. Attraction posters have been a major part of theme parks ever since the opening of Disneyland all the way back in 1955. Walt Disney decided to make posters for all the major attractions at the park in a way to make them feel more like theatrical experiences, like seeing posters for a movie when you walk into a theater. This is one of the many things that was implemented into the park back in 1955 to make people see that Disneyland is unlike any other kind of park they had been to before. The initial run of Disneyland attraction posters were effective and iconic. So much so that Disney attraction posters are still made to this day for even the newest additions to their parks all around the world, with some of the most recent notable examples being the posters that were made for almost every single current, former, and upcoming, and probably cancelled attraction at Epcot to commemorate its major overhaul at the 2019 D23 Expo. And of course, with this many posters being made for the last 70 years, it's no surprise that Disney would jump on the opportunity to capitalize on them. Introducing the Disney Parks Poster Calendar. These are exactly what they sound like. An annual calendar that includes 12 posters, one for each month of the year. These are pretty big posters too. Each one is 12 inches by 18 inches and have good printing quality to boot. Each one looks really nice in a frame. And for those who forgot, it is indeed a calendar. Not anymore. Yeah, I don't know about anybody else, but when it comes to buying these calendars, I never actually use them as a calendar. Instead, I just see these things as poster collections with January-shaped skin tags. At the beginning, these were great little pickups for any fan of the parks. However, in more recent years, some things started being scaled back with these calendars. First, in 2020, the actual size of the posters ended up getting reduced a pretty big amount, from 12 to 18 inches to only 11 by 14. The paper used for the posters in these newer calendars are also printed with a much cheaper feeling paper, with a texture similar to something like construction paper instead of the glossier, nicer posters from previous years. On top of this, the 2020 calendar that started all of this doesn't even use attraction posters! Instead, they decided to make these maps of various lands from the Disney parks in the style of the old Disneyland Fun Map from the 1950s and 60s. That sounds like a really fun idea, but that just means this particular calendar just stands out from any other ones you might have. Not only are they smaller, but now they won't go with any of the other posters you might have in your collection. This is truly the worst thing to happen in the year 2020. But it seems like Disney sort of course-corrected with the calendar for the next year. The 2021 poster calendar includes all new art like with 2020, but in the style of actual individual attraction posters just like God intended. 2022's calendar then ends up being one of the best in recent memory, with the material being completely focused on celebrating Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary. The posters inside included designs based on old marketing material, promotional art, and posters for opening day attractions. This one is just great. I could easily see all 12 posters from this one being up on my wall. Usually the case is that every poster calendar has at least a few designs that I just don't want to put up anywhere.
You will see me dead in the ground before you see Magic Journeys on my wall.
The second thing that I started hoarding as my theme park collection began are the park guide maps. Most normal, functioning people, after a theme park vacation is over, will look at the maps they picked up during their trip and go,
"These are worthless!"
Meanwhile, me, a brand new theme park collector, will go,
"These are worthless! I'm keeping them."
These park maps are usually something any new visitor to a park will make use of on their trip, merely as a tool so that they can find their way around the place and see which one of these damn dots is supposed to be Electric Umbrella.
I've got terrible news for you.
But then, as you visit the parks more and more, you will eventually forego the need for maps entirely, instead being able to navigate these places on your own instinct. There's no more reason for you to pick up a map.
Unless you're insane!
As far as I can probably tell, park maps are one of the most popular collectibles amongst theme park fans, and how could they not be? The things are free! Every single park at Walt Disney World, for example, just has the thing sitting out in a box for you to take just one. Just one. Now, I can't speak for any other theme park map collectors out there, but the main reason I usually like to keep all of my maps around is for the fact that they act sort of like a little bit of a time capsule. If you have enough maps to span multiple years of a park's history, you can compare all the changes in art style, logos, attraction lineup, and more. Most of my map collection starts in the early mid-2000s and goes all the way up to recent times, though I do have some very neat maps from the mid-1980s for both Magic Kingdom and Epcot Center. These ones are really cool because instead of just being simple maps, these are more like complete pocket-sized guidebooks, with a bunch of pages detailing different lands or individual attractions in the parks. And check out this original 1982 Epcot Center map. This one is all future-y. You can tell because it has a wheel.
Circles are just inherent symbols of the future. For example, you can take a look at this picture I took during the Stone Age.
As my theme park collection grew, most of the things I had were in the two categories I just mentioned, that being park maps and attraction posters. But that's not all the worthless paper I've ended up collecting. Check out this Spiel script packet from the Jaws ride I have. Not only does this include the script that all the skippers on the ride were meant to stick to, but it also includes extra background information about the land itself and the places in it, all to help the skippers get better acquainted. It also includes sections of stall script, which were used when the boats on the ride had to stop and wait to get into a scene, so one of the boats ahead of them could finish the scene they were taking up, or to cover up for the absence of an effect that just wasn't working. These special stall scripts were very useful to have because, God bless it, there were many days where the Jaws ride just felt like it was being held together by duct tape and string. Still better than Diagon Alley, though. One of the biggest parts of my whole collection thing, though, is my assortment of Tower of Terror stuff. If you weren't aware, it's my favorite ride of all time.
If you didn't know that, it means you haven't looked at me or my new hat for more than 5 seconds.
The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror has, luckily, had quite a bit of merchandise over the years, and I've enjoyed snatching up literally whatever I can find from the parks and older stuff from sites online. There's this excellent glow-in-the-dark Hollywood Tower Hotel sign I got from Narf Industries over on Etsy, this pre-show TV set snow globe, this Jenga game I will absolutely never play, stop asking me to play it, and more! My favorite piece out of everything I have in this little assortment is this little model of the Florida version of the Hollywood Tower Hotel. In all of my years collecting Tower of Terror stuff, this is easily the best recreation of the hotel itself that I have been able to find. Every detail is in the right place, even down to specific windows and domes that line the building, and it's made by f***ing Funko!
I just threw up in my mouth a little.
How is it that the same people who specialize in soulless pop culture figures for you to recognize at a hot topic also made the best recreation of the Hollywood Tower Hotel?
By all accounts, I am usually a strictly anti-Funko man, but who am I to deny some good old-fashioned blasphemy?
So all this stuff I've shown off up until now seems pretty neat, right? Wrong! In 2019, Disney opened Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in both Disneyland and Disney's Hollywood Studios. These two near-identical lands brought two new attractions, one being one of the most revolutionary dark ride innovations of this century, and the other being fine, I guess, shut up. Of course, so too came the best quick service restaurant in Hollywood Studios, and more importantly, merchandise! They made way too much of this stuff. When it first opened, almost every single piece of merchandise sold in Galaxy's Edge was exclusive stuff only available in the land. They had everything ranging from handmade-looking plushies of famous Star Wars characters to these weird ration kits that nobody actually bought. To this day, I'm sure they still rot in a landfill somewhere. But amongst all these other merchandise items, there were two big ones that were the most popular of all. They were also the most egregiously expensive. Introducing Savi's Workshop and Droid Depot. These two stores are some of the biggest non-ride draws in all of Galaxy's Edge. Droid Depot is a shop where for $100, $120, you can build your own R-Series droid or BB-Series droid. These droids come with a remote control that you can use to move the little fellas around, move their heads, and have them make noise. When you build the droids, you also get this cardboard container of subpar quality with it. Or you can upgrade and get this nice little blue backpack like I did when I built my droid all those years ago. And if it wasn't obvious already, this is where Droid Depot is really gonna come for your wallet. Accessories! Customization! Some third thing! If you look at the layout of the Droid Depot store, you'll quickly realize that the area for the actual build-your-own droid experience is quite small. Most of the store's retail space is taken up by shelves upon shelves of crap you can buy and slap onto the droid you built. The main draw seems to be these little accessory packs you can buy to clip onto your droid. You can give it a serving tray or little rocket booster things. Now, I didn't buy any of the accessory things, but I did buy one of the personality chips that are on offer at the store. There are 9 of these little things you can buy, and upon being slapped into your droid's innards, each one changes the set of sounds the little guy will make. There are 3 different personality types available, each one with at least 2 different chip options. There are 4 resistance chips, 3 scoundrel chips, and 2 first order chips. Personally, I'm a little basic loser, so my droid has one of the resistance chips in him. Now, when it comes to the build quality of these droids, I think it should be obvious that you won't be expecting any immense levels of, material toughness. These things are made out of regular plastic. One complaint I do have, however, is that, at least on the R-Series droids, there's these doors on the front of the guy that are meant for accessories, and they never tend to stay closed, it seems. Anytime the droid does a turn, it's pretty dang likely that one of the doors on the front will fly open. I hope somebody got fired for that. Fired out of a cannon! The other popular merch item you can buy in Galaxy's Edge is found in a place called Savi's Workshop. This is where you are able to make your very own custom lightsaber for the price of $200, $220, $250. Luckily for me, I got my lightsaber back when they were still only $200, which in my opinion is a much more reasonable price compared to the droids. When you drop the $200 on one of these things, it feels like you are really paying for the quality of these, at least when it comes to the hilts of the lightsaber. They're hefty, they're metal, they have a great weightiness to them. One of the most important parts of the lightsaber, the actual light, however, is unfortunately a bit lacking at times. The lights themselves are a cylinder of LEDs that correspond to whichever color you chose when you put the lightsaber together. Shortly after I had first gotten mine, the lights had already begun flickering, almost like they had a bad connection to whatever was powering it. Now, in Disney's defense, they do suggest removing the batteries from the lightsaber when the thing isn't in use. But who's actually gonna do that?
What do I look like? A stupid stupid?
Nowadays, my lightsaber doesn't get much use. Maybe if I had more space in my room or a place to actually display the thing, it would be out more often, but instead it just kind of sits in my closet, seemingly meaning that, luckily, nobody will ever know I have one.
And there you have it. That's most of the theme park stuff I happen to have in my little collection. In fact, while we were talking about all that, I just got a notification from the construction crew installing the billboard above my house, showing me what the final product is gonna look like. Why don't we take a look? Oh God, now everybody knows!
I hope somebody got fired for that. Fired out of a cannon!
George Michael had never been more embarrassed. Until this part.
Uh-oh, I couldn't find another tape.